Hi, hello, and namaste, and welcome back to another episode number 5. Yes, we had a 1 month gap on my podcast. I was a bit occupied with my work, and I've been super busy for the past couple of months, but still, that's not an excuse for me to not do my podcast because podcast is my passion and I'm gonna do it anyway, be it like maybe I take a lot of time, but maybe I do not. I may not take a lot of time. But yeah, I will always be back. Okay. So, as I had said on my last episode, number 4, that this episode will be something very inspiring. Maybe this episode will inspire you in your life. And maybe remember someone who has inspired you, who has been there through your life, or who has always been a support system, be it a parent, be it a teacher, be it anybody. So we always need someone to support us, be it your parents, your siblings, your real friends, your maybe if you're married, your husband, your wife, or maybe your lover. So anyone who supports you, who inspires you in everyday life, you need someone. It's very paramount. It's you need them. So, likewise, we are going to talk about on this episode is someone very special. After I read about her life, her story, I was moved. And it touched my heart so badly. I even cried after I saw her movie. And it was very moving. I just couldn't stop myself. My tears were trembling down. Okay, without further ado, let me tell her name, and her name is, drum rolls, Helen Keller. Right, okay, that's her name, and she has inspired so many people, and of course, not just her. Her teacher, Miss Anne Sullivan, has also been there for her, and she is also one of the most inspiring teacher in an entire world. That's what I feel. So, talking about Helen Keller, she was not mute, deaf, or blind by birth. She actually, the thing happened with her when she was 19 months. So it was very difficult for her parents to cope up with such a incident in their life, but still they didn't leave their daughter's hand. She was struggling very badly from the age of, let's say, 19 months till the age of 7. And the 7 years old Helen was in a very bad, let's say, she was having just very difficult to communicate on a daily basis. People used to, misunderstand her very quickly because she just, all she wanted to do was communicate, but she just couldn't. And yes, people take it in a wrong way, or they interpret in their own in their own ways, which was making Helen's parents' heart break. So during that time, Helen's father has no option but to send her daughter to the asylum. That was not accepted by her mother. Helen's mother was she could not bear the pain to send her daughter to asylum. Any parents, they would not want to send their daughter or son somewhere away from them where they could barely survive or could not survive. That's a very difficult decision, but her father had to make it so that Helen could at least learn something or maybe try to communicate. But then what happens? Helen's life changes because Miss Sullivan enters her life. At the age of 7, Helen meets Miss Sullivan. In the beginning, their relationship was very like a cat and dog. They used to fight because Helen could not stand Miss Sullivan, because Miss Sullivan was trying to teach Helen to be a human kid, not a wild, spoiled brat. She was trying to discipline her. She was trying to make her eat from spoon and fork, but Helen just wanted to grab everything everything from her hand. And she used to eat just like an animal. That was not acceptable for Miss Sullivan. So, yeah, of course, they could not stand each other, but Miss Sullivan had a commitment to make her life change. So I think we all need a teacher, someone, our mentor, someone who can guide us, just like Miss Sullivan did to Helen. Miss Sullivan was like, I think she's my inspiration now. Yeah. Miss Sullivan struggled a lot. She, as a teacher, she started to, teach Helen the right way to eat, the right way to drink water, the right way to say all the letters. So they, of course, like Helen was kind of from a wealthy family, so they had a farm. So what Miss Sullivan did was she wanted her and Helen to be left alone in a farm, so that she could teach her. She could teach Helen the right way to live a disciplined life. I mean, looking at or reading a story of her autobiography of Helen was very moving, very touching. She was blind, mute, and deaf, but she has a determination. She had that willpower. She was very smart, by the way. I mean, she had a brain. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. She had an urge to learn things, how everything has a meaning, how everything has whatever thing we see, whatever thing we know has a name. That's what Helen came to know about the world, which we already knew, isn't it? That's something really inspiring. So, because of Miss Sullivan, Helen came to know about a lot of things. She wanted to learn. That's the big thing, actually. Learning, trying to know things, or the will to have to learn something. You need that. You need that willpower. You need to have that insect inside of you, the hunger inside of you, to know, the thirst inside of you. Of knowledge. For knowledge, you need to have the thirst of knowledge. So that was the quality Miss Helen had, and that was seen and was believed by Miss Sullivan, her teacher. She saw and she knew that Helen is a very, very bright student. So such realization from a teacher, I think that's a huge thing, because it's a teacher who teaches you a lot of stuffs when you're in school, your college, or your university. So a teacher makes a very big difference in your life. Like Miss Sullivan had a very, very huge difference in Helen's life. So the first word Helen learned was DOLL. That is doll. And she spelled it from on her hands. So that's a sign language she learned from Miss Sullivan. Miss Sullivan was there with Helen till the last breath of her life. I mean, isn't that amazing? We need such teachers. We need someone, a mentor, who is there for you, who inspires you, who just makes a big difference in your life. Like, that's a huge thing. That's why when you are lost and you don't know what to do, and you turn to your parents for suggestions, you turn to your elders or someone you look up to, and you want their suggestions, you want them to guide you, at least let you know what will happen if you decide this way, or maybe give some directions. Yes, that was Miss Sullivan for Helen. Each and everyone deserves to have Miss Sullivan in their life. So I'm also trying to be Miss Sullivan. Actually, yes, I'm also trying to be Miss Sullivan in my students' life. I'm just trying to make a difference, maybe a little difference. Little minor changes will also be a huge thing for me. Um, yeah, so Miss Sullivan is my inspiration. I mean, she inspired me in each and every way. Um, the time when Miss Sullivan enlightened Helen when she was struggling to let her know that MUG mug is different than WATER, water. So a mug and water is a different thing, but Helen could not really understand. And at last, finally, Helen was enlightened that the cool thing that was running through her fingers, a cool breeze, or should I say, a cool thingy that was running through her fingers was called water. And she tried to spell it as she was feeling it. She was trying to spell the water. That was a biggest achievement for Miss Sullivan. And that later on she started to or she came to know about the words like mother, teacher, father. It was very moving for me. I mean, if you want to know more about Helen Keller, then you can watch the movie called The Miracle Worker. It's so inspiring. It's so moving. Yeah, I mean, what we can learn from Helen is that if you have the thirst to learn, if you have that hunger to learn anything in the world, anything, then go for it. Don't look back. Just keep on moving forward. Don't lose hope. Do not give up. And do not let anybody tell you that you cannot do something. We all are humans. And no one can tell you that you cannot do something. I just feel that statement that when someone says, "No, you can't," as if, really, I can't? You think? And I wanted to prove them wrong. That's what you should do. That's what you have to have, that kind of attitude. I mean, good attitude. And to prove those people, or to prove the one who's trying to bring you down, or they just don't want to see you succeed in life. So and so. Yes, so if you have someone, a mentor, then I think you should learn from them. If a teacher is trying to teach you, or if someone is trying to make a difference in your life, then I think you should go for it, and you should take things seriously so that they can make you a better person, and you yourself will also be a good human being. So what I learned from The Story of My Life by Helen Keller is that a teacher takes a hand, opens a mind, and touches a heart. And with this beautiful quote, I'm going to wrap up this episode number 5. I hope you learned something. And if you want to know more, of course, you can, learn more about The Story of My Life by Helen Keller. That's an autobiography. And that's on the internet. You can find it everywhere if you want to learn more. All right. Thank you so much for listening. And I will be back again on the episode number 6. I hope you all are healthy, happy, keep smiling, and keep learning, because life is all about learning, and life is itself a teacher, isn't it? Okay, have a good day wherever you are, have a good night wherever you are, and ciao and bye from me.